I'm telling you right now, he's got to do this for all the straight white males out there because we need a win.
You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
It's another edition of the Windy City Bender podcast. It's Jarom here. It's Tanner.
Oh yeah.
It's episode 106.
We're a week away from hockey.
Yeah, I was about to say, as of recording right now, we're about 1 week and 2 hours or an hour away from puck drop between Blackhawks versus St. Louis. So you kind of say things are getting exciting in the hockey world.
Oh God.
It's really starting to look like this is actually going to happen. It's like
really start to taste it.
Yeah, they're going to pull this off, and I am so fucking pumped for this.
Juiced.
Juiced. But, yeah, so episode 106, you know the format. We got some hot stock going on. We got a couple NHL talk things. NHL talk's a little crazy, little stuff that you think would be in the Onion article, but nope.
Yeah, it's right.
Real life. So
things are happening and things are weird. So that's great.
You got anything you want to throw out there, Tanner, before we get going?
No.
Fucking
let's do it.
Patter. All right, so Hawks. A couple quick things there. You've kind of noticed since the return to play has been announced, they've been going with the slogan "All for One." This week they finally kind of put it out there that this is the new slogan for the team. Did say, however, the one goal slogan is not retired, which I don't know.
They have probably a lot of like stuff that still says one goal, and that's why they're like, we're not retiring. Because I know there was when I went to a game last year, it was during this season, so it was still last year.
Yeah.
Where it was like 70s night, and they had like the huge one goal like saying, and so it's like I'm sure they have a shit ton of that stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, dude, they used to say one goal, like they can still use that shit.
Is it?
But, like, sell it off maybe. I don't know.
Is it weird that they brought in this new like slogan like now and not wait for next season to start? I thought it was a little strange. I mean, but then again, nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's still the same season anyway. That's why it's completely fine. I feel like we've missed like a whole off season, and I'm just like, well, yeah, we still have a whole off season to go. There's still free agent frenzy and shit coming up, and like it's gonna be awesome too.
And that's all gonna take place like a month and a half like apart too, which is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like draft, free agent.
Yeah, no joke.
Training camp for like 2 weeks, new season.
Next week is going to be the start of nonstop hockey, basically, until next summer.
Yeah, so probably a year and a half almost.
Yeah, because like you said, like usually in the summer it kind of dies down because you have like 2 months of like free agency, but that's not happening.
They still have all intentions of playing 82 games next year. Don't know how, but I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, so
let's go.
Like this is the last week we have without hockey for a little bit, so that's gonna be great as long as everything stays safe, you know. Like,
yeah,
Jesus.
You guys were kind of talking about this in the group chat the other day, kind of how they're saying that this is if they can get through this week or up until Sunday without any like major things happening with COVID and all that kind of stuff, you're pretty much guaranteed that this is going to go forward and happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like the hockey players don't have the distractions that like other sports do. Like they're very I can hang out with my team all day, every day and have a great fucking time. And like, that's kind of like what's going to happen for them, especially the younger guys. And like, I think that it's going to be just like it's going to go pretty off without a hitch, I guess, you know, like, they're not going to be inviting girls into the NBA bubble's already getting like almost going to collapse because like guys are going out and getting fucking food when they're not supposed to. And then they're trying to text girls and like tell them to come into the bubble. It's like, that shit's also, they're fucking stupid because they are doing their shit in Florida, and Florida is like the worst.
Right.
The worst. And so I'm just like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So that's the good thing about hockey. It's like they all have their heads on like at least their shoulders and fucking can figure it the fuck out and like realize they need to do exactly what they need to do to get these seasons to keep going. I feel really bad for the players that aren't playing though, you know?
Yeah. That's what I saw though too. I was saying something came up. They were saying that after the 14-day quarantine, once they get to the hub city, they are going to be able to go to the golf resorts, like
Really?
where they're staying. So it's like for hockey players, man, you give them golf, you give them a hotel, toss some video games in there, you give them hockey. That's all you need right there.
Dude, they're gonna fucking throw so much money down on video games and golf rounds.
Oh
like,
my god,
it's gonna be crazy.
But yeah, so hockey's coming very soon. A couple little contract notes that came up this week for the Blackhawks. It was reported that Slater Cuckoo and the Chicago Blackhawks are making zero progress on a contract extension. Oh, well, I mean, it
sucks. I mean, like, I like him because he fills out, like, the bottom pairing, like, decently well. He's a good, like, seventh defenseman.
Yeah.
And he would be great to have next year just because you don't know if all of the guys that we, like, have prospect-wise are, like, going to be, like, for sure making that jump.
Right.
So it's, like, it would be great if we had him sign for at least, like, another season, but I'm not going to be, like, super fucking upset about it.
Yeah, it's like my opinion with that is like, yeah, it's great. We have him, awesome. If not, whatever. Like we do have plenty of guys in our system and all that kind of stuff where we'll be able to rotate a solid group of guys as that 6th, 7th defenseman to kind of see what we got there.
Yeah, I mean, and the guys that we're bringing in though, you don't really want to have them filling out the bottom pairing. Like you want these guys to like be able to be like top 4 guys. And I mean, it would be great to have him and Olli Maatta as the bottom pairing for a while. They're only 25 and 26, but Olli Maatta's making way too much money. And I'm sure Cuckoo is just like, oh, well, like my D partner is making $4 million, like, and I'm making less than $1 million. Like,
yeah, he's like a 900.
Yeah, he's on like almost a rookie contract still.
Yeah,
925.
I mean, he's got to understand too, though. It's like I would just, if I were him, sign those 1-year tickets while the cap is flat, you know, like he's not one of those guys that can be demanding a shit ton of money.
Yeah, but I'm sure he could end up being on a team where he's making a little bit more, maybe like 1.5 to 2 million, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
And like, if that's what happens, that's what happens. He's still a restricted free agent. So if anything, they could qualify him, could go to arbitration, or he can get a fucking offer sheet.
Yeah.
I don't even know if his offer sheet would even end up with us getting any picks though.
See, I like to think that I know about that stuff, and not because of NHL, but then I always find out that NHL is just dumbing it down completely. So I'm like, I'm not gonna.
From what I've seen, is like they kind of do have the offer sheet compensation correct.
Okay.
Because I remember seeing like what would happen if like Aho got offer sheeted. It would be like for like a certain amount, it would be like 2 firsts and a second, or it would be like 3 firsts. And I was like, I've definitely seen that in Chell before. So
yeah, they were talking Marner possibly doing a 4 first rounder.
Yeah,
like
that's like 10+ mil, and like you're like, yep, your next 4 first rounds are. I don't know why would you do that as like a bottom feeding team. It's like you could easily get like probably 4 top 10 picks. That would be
definitely
like way better than just one guy. But I don't know. If it was McDavid, I might do it anyway.
Right.
I feel like that's what Edmonton did. Like they sacrificed Taylor Hall and Nail Yakupov, and I don't know. They only got like 2 first rounders out of like their 4 that they had like overall. The first overall picks.
David, is it left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's only was it Hall, Nuge, McDavid, and Yakupov?
Yeah. Yeah, those are the last 2 standing. Jesus. I always forget about Nuge. Always forget about him.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's behind Draisaitl now too.
Yeah. So The other contract talk was Drake Kajula. He said, they asked him about his pending RFA status, and he said, I grew up a Blackhawk fan. I would love to play here for the rest of my career. I would too. I would love him to be a Hawk forever. I love his style. It's unfortunate he's got that injury. He's injury prone.
He's got that Andrew Shaw style of play, and he's got that Andrew Shaw style of injury too.
I feel like he's smarter than Shaw.
Why is that? Just a feeling you have?
No, like just kind of seeing like.
You mean like demeanor wise?
Yeah, like he doesn't take like as
stupid
bad
penalties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh no, fuck! I don't know their IQ.
Yeah, it's just like
no, like he's a smarter. I think he's a smarter player. He kind of knows when to pick his moments to kind of go step over a little bit and like push it a little bit. Where I feel like Shaw just kind of without thinking just jumps in and does something really dumb.
Yeah. It'd be, I mean, if he's like super similar to Shaw, maybe we can end up trading him over to Montreal for a couple second rounders and get another DeBrincat out of it. But I'll be cool with just holding on to Kajula as well.
Yeah. With that though, there's a couple player updates as well. Crawford, Stan Bowman came out and said that they're not ruling anything out, that he could potentially join the team next week, even before that they head up to Edmonton. That is going to be like the big
Don't they have to still test negative before tomorrow or on Thursday and Friday?
I believe so. So that's that brings in the question too, what the hell does his unfit mean? Is he facing something with this? Is it a nagging injury? Is it a family thing?
I think, what was it? Yeah, they said, because when we've been watching the scrimmages and stuff for the Hawks, Colleton had little presser that said unfit is what they've been told to use from the CBA that they agreed upon for this circumstances, and it's for either injuries or for COVID positive. You're not allowed to tell. So okay. So the players are just unfit, so you don't know if they're injured or if they're sick. So
they took the very broad upper body, lower body injury, combined it, and just made it even more broad.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. But him coming or not going, I mean, that's going to set the table a lot for what this team could possibly do against Edmonton. I know. So mentioned before, we're going to break down playoff series next episode. So we might touch on a little bit this episode, but we're not going to go in full depth about that. So
we'll have a little bit of a better idea who's going to be on the squad too.
Yeah.
When they're actually in the bubble and everything, because we can break down the plane right now and say Crawford's not going to be there, and then next week he shows up. So
there's a huge list of guys that have got big question marks. Dahan will start skating again on Tuesday. He was out with a family emergency. Murphy started skating again on Tuesday. He was listed as unfit to play before.
Taves was out of skating yesterday.
Taves left mid-practice Monday, missed yesterday, Tuesday, and I don't know if he skated. I couldn't see if he skated or not today on Wednesday. Mata was back on the ice with the main group. He was also listed as unfit. Then you're seeing reports. Some reporters are saying that Siebes doesn't look strong enough where he would be able to play in the playoffs. He's doing good in these practices, but it might not transition well to actual physical hockey. So he is a question mark. It's just and who knows, maybe by Friday we find out somebody else on the team who's been practicing this entire time is sick or, something like that. So it's we really don't know.
Watch it's all right, now Kane can't play, DeBrincat can't play, and we're well, okay. Or we find out that McDavid's not able to play, and you're oh fuck, okay, now we have a even better chance at fucking winning,
right. Yeah. So it's very hard to kind of rule about what is going to be happening in this playing round just yet. So that's why we're going to hold off on it.
Yeah. And we're going to probably wait till after the exhibition game too.
Yeah. Exhibition.
So we can kind of see how the guys play, see who's where and how they look, and kind of just break it down from there, and then let's fucking go.
But with all that being said, I had a separate, like a group of friends. We were talking in a chat the other day, and it kind of brought up a good like talking point. We'll see what we can do for the show. So basically, the argument was the Hawks need to win. No matter what, the Hawks need to win this series. It makes zero sense for them to lose. Where I was trying to play devil's advocate, saying, "Oh, the Hawks need to lose." So I text Sandra and said, "You know what we should do? We should do like a pro and con, kind of like why the Hawks need to win, and then like pro and con why the Hawks need to lose." I think that there are cases to be made for both situation. Up front, I'm gonna say I hope they win. I want them to win every single year, just because I kind of lean towards, if they lose, it's not the end of the world. But I think that you got to be realistic in the situation. But so first, which one do you want to start with?
Pros. Just start with pros.
Pros? Okay, so we'll start with pros for why they need to win.
Go for it.
All right, so the first
So
one.
I haven't even thought this out until you just told me about it, and I was like, all right, sounds good. Let's do it.
So the first pro that I have is you have Kane and Taves right now in their prime.
Yes.
You need to take any shot that you have at a Stanley Cup with those guys while they are still at the top of their game.
Absolutely. We've talked about this before on the show with like the way that Pittsburgh runs their team. They are maximizing every chance that they have every year with Sidney Crosby and Malkin in their lineup.
Yeah.
Which could be sacrificed in the future, but they are maximizing those fucking chances at winning cups every single year. And it's like, kind of wish the Hawks would do that. So this would be one of those times where it'd be kind of pan out in a good way because it wasn't looking too hot.
Right. Yeah. Another pro is the more you win, not saying winning the Stanley Cup, I'm just saying winning each round.
Yeah.
The more playoff experience you get for these younger guys in a year that's as weird as this, it might not be regular NHL playoff, but you know what? They're still getting that high situation, game on the line type of feel, and it's only going to make them better.
Yeah.
And down when we have this team gets back to where it should be.
Absolutely. It's this is the time, like the players the young guys get a really good shot of like learning under Kane and Taves. And to get this now in like a playoff format is even more important than just those regular season games. Yeah. Especially if your future of your franchise is going to be like Boqvist, he's going to learn under Keith, and it's going to be Doc who's going to learn under Taves, and you want DeBrincat to learn under like Kaner, and you want them to be like the next core. It's like you really need these kinds of games so that they can get all the experience from them as they can. So I think that's really good too. Plus, if we can win, that's just even bigger for like Crawford. Like, especially if he's a part of it, like, it just even shows that he can still be doing that. And there's, like, so many people still doubting that he's a fucking good goalie. And it's just, like, nobody apparently watches the Hawks because he's, like, one of the only reasons that we won any games this year.
When he's healthy, man. Like,
yeah.
He was good enough that they felt that they didn't need to keep Lehner on.
What was the somebody tweeted at Lazarus when he was talking about Crawford and not being fit to play, and like somebody said like we got to be done with Crawford and the whole Crawford experiment, like he's not good for the team, and then Lazarus was just like, Crawford, who might be the franchise's best goaltender of all time, the 2-time Stanley Cup winning goalie, like, you mean that guy, the Crawford experiment? It's like, yeah, I think we can still go with the Crawford experiment. He's pretty fucking good. It's like, oh, it'd be so fucking funny.
That goes into another pro. Big documentary that was happened this spring was The Last Dance.
Yeah, right?
I mean, this could be the last – this year could literally be the last hurrah for what's left of that original core. Because you're going to lose.
Don't say that.
I'm just saying – I mean –
just don't fucking say that. Don't make it
real. Realistically, it's not because Siebes isn't going anywhere. Unless Siebes gets Robitaille Island or gets Hosud, he's still going to be here. Crawford's the only one that's kind of up, and it's going to be a new situation if he doesn't come back. But if you're going to win this year, why not? I mean, what better way to go out than winning with the original core? At least the core that's left.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a fourth cup with these guys. Are you kidding me? And even I think the best thing about it too would be to start the new decade out with a cup as well, just like we did last decade.
Yeah.
And then you get all the questions of like, oh, are the Hawks back? And then it's also like, oh, cool, the Hawks are in cap trouble again, just like last decade. What's up?
Well, joke's on you this time. We're in cap problem way before winning a cup. So
yeah.
So do you
I
think
mean,
of
pros also pro like possible cup.
Yeah, another cup. The tiers of the rest of the NHL when the Hawks are doing absolutely amazing again, and because everybody loves when the Hawks are winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Any
more other
more
pros? It's mainly just like getting the playoff experience for the young guys too, and then also like possibly getting the chance for the core to get another cup. I mean, whenever you get a chance to get a cup, like, yeah, of course you want to win and get the cup. Like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cons.
I
Cons of winning.
The cons of winning, I think, are the same as the pros of losing almost.
Yes.
Or no, the cons of losing. No.
What? Come on, don't do this to me now.
It's the times it's all over again. No, cons of losing is
the cons of winning.
Oh, cons of winning. Yeah. Okay, so the cons of winning is
here's one con of winning.
Yes.
If Strome plays really well and we win, and he's gonna want way more money than if he plays shitty and we lose. That's one. Because that's like a Brian Bickle thing where if he shows up in the playoffs and does fucking unreal, and then Bowman's like, here's $12 million.
No trade clause.
Yeah, because you're absolutely the most amazing player for 24 games in the playoffs. And, like, then that's going to be bad. Like, also Bickle, fucking love him, friend of the show, he's been on. Yeah. But and he also, not saying he didn't deserve that money, but he was a killer in the playoffs, and he earned all his money during that time.
100%.
And that's a situation that could happen again with anybody that has a contract coming up. Like, what happens if fucking, I don't know, Carlton decides to pull a Quenneville, and he puts Slater Cuckoo on the power play right wing, and he puts him on, the third line right wing or something, and he ends up fucking putting in, a Hattie, and it's he just becomes next Dustin Byfuglien, and you're like, okay, well, we can't pay you, clearly. Or it's just, who else? Kubalik can also just shatter fucking rookie records in the playoffs and then be like, okay, I want $7 million for fucking 8 years. And it's like, hey, Coobs, we don't got that much money, bro. And he's like, okay, well, trade me. Fuck.
And it's kind of what that instead of mine too is how many of these guys that are in RFAs that were questionable to be getting a payday next year that just got completely screwed because the season got canceled. So they lost about a month or so of prove it time that they deserve to be still playing and get a contract. Now you're giving them this fire in a playoffs high situation. Yeah, that's a huge con of winning.
Yeah.
I'm going to say kind of winning is if we beat Oilers, you're losing a chance at a very good draft pick.
Yeah.
At either the first overall, the Hawks are guaranteed either first overall, I believe 9th and 10th. One of those three is what they'll get because it depends on what Montreal does too.
Wait, no, because I thought the highest they could get was 10th. That's if Montreal loses as well.
Yes, if Montreal loses, they can get 10th.
So the highest they can get is 9th
if Montreal wins. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yes.
This is a very solid draft this year.
Yes.
And if you win, so you are gonna win, beat the Oilers. Okay, goodbye, a decent top 10 draft pick.
Yeah. Now you're choosing.
Get your shit kicked in by whoever you end up facing because you know what? I don't think this team is built right now to compete with the Vegas, to compete with Colorado, to compete with St. Louis. Maybe they can go through Dallas.
Yeah, but what you got to think about too, I've never really thought about this either. Let's say they lose their chance at a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Their pick, if they lose in the first round, literally drops to 14 or 15.
But that could be. It doesn't seem like it big, but it could end up being a big.
Well, with a deep draft, you're not losing your first round pick. It's the difference between losing your first round pick that could be a 10th and just moving it to the 15th is
That's not,
I wouldn't say like that bad, but your chance of losing the first overall pick and potentially have it being the 15th is like massive.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge difference.
Especially when there's
no guarantee of winning the first.
When there's the guy that there's a franchise player being compared to Crosby and Taves, like a mixture of both of those guys. Like,
just get like a semi right now, Jesus.
Another kind of lose or winning anything.
Also Crawford, if he ends up playing, and like if we do really well with him in that, he'd also probably want close to $6 million again, and that wouldn't happen. But he'd probably just get paid somewhere else.
Oh yeah, he would be fine. Yes, but the con is that we have to figure out who our fucking goalie is next year.
And then the other thing too is if we end up winning and we don't have Crawford, but we do it with like Subban, and Subban shows up and shows that he can be a goalie that we can rely on for the next few years, then he's going to want to get paid. But, I mean, he's making less than $1 million. But that's the other thing, too. It's like, where is all the money going to go?
Right, yeah.
Especially, Jesus, where does it go? Where does it go? We'd have to make the trade somewhere, somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, or a buyout. I don't know. Like, oof.
Are they doing compliance buyouts? Did they ever say that?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
God, it would have been so nice to just buy out Seaves and Mata and have that $10 million.
Big fucking oof right now. Just where the money at, though? Do you think Stan Bowman do you think he does what I do in like NHL 20 and you just do franchise mode? And then once you run out of money and you can't re-sign your players, you just quit and just do a new franchise mode, and you're like, back to having all the money in the world. Here we go, baby.
No, I think he played it, and then when he was to try to give Slater Cuckoo a 7-year, $7 million with a full no trade clause and realized he can't give no trade clause in NHL, he quit playing.
He threw his controller out.
This isn't right. Window. This isn't real. God.
Jesus.
Oh, I like how Cat Friendly's got the countdown.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, 9 days, 18 hours, 5 minutes, and 35 seconds. Let's go.
Oh, baby.
Any more cons on winning, you think?
Cons on winning. No, I don't think so.
All right. So
is there anything? I don't know.
Cons or pros on losing? Kind of touched on already.
Oh, you know what? I was going to say, you know what's a pro on winning?
What's that?
You can possibly, if we can't re-sign some guys, we could possibly have the chance at signing bigger names again for cheap. Just like how we did with Brad Richards when he got bought out. We got him for $1 million because he wanted to go to a team that wins. And if we show that we win still and we win again, if we can't sign some of these guys, like if we can't get Strome and we end up trading him and like having a little bit of cap space, we can get some sort of veteran that can pop right in. And like a cheap deal, somebody that's already made a bunch of money, but like wants to be on a team that can win.
And on the other side of that, we could possibly flip some of these guys.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, because just like almost just to bring him another past Hawk, you flip a guy like how you did Dave Bolin. Like Bolin had just won a cup, and he has the Stanley Cup pedigree, and then they got a second and a third from Toronto for him.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, and then that's how you free up some cap space there too. Like you show these other teams, it's like, yeah, check out these guys how they play in the playoffs. Guess what your team could do if they play in the playoffs with this guy?
Yeah,
exactly what he just did. It's like, hell yeah, bro.
Oh man,
you get Seaves in the playoffs. You get him to play as sick, absolutely constant material, and then just dangle him like a set of keys in front of like Ottawa or something. It's like, hey, cap space buddies.
Yeah.
You wanna take this Conn Smythe winner right here? That'd be fucking great.
Oh my god. So
there you go. There's another pro.
Pro to winning. Yeah.
Yeah. Con to losing.
No, pro
not being able to do any of that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, pro to losing. We talked about it. 12.5%. The odds that we have at drafting first overall, which another pro into that is you get a guy that I believe is NHL ready. He can step into this team right away. He will have a rookie contract, which will be under $1 million. And
even with signing bonuses, like won't be like more than like $3 million.
So you kind of solve a little bit of your cap issue there because you're bringing a guy that can step in and do a job, and you don't have to overpay for somebody to come in and fill one of those spots. Boom, that's a pro.
Yes, and by the time he needs a contract after his rookie deal,
The cap
you have all of your contracts besides Siebes off the books.
And the cap should be going up at that point as well.
Yes, and hopefully the cap will be going up at that point. So that's a pro to losing.
Yes.
What else is a pro to losing? It's the opposite of the con to winning. You have players like Strome and Kubalik and Cuckoo and Crawford that if they play terribly, guess what? They can't ask for as much money as they would if they did amazing.
You're gonna have a lot of guys signing prove it deals. Like here, here's a $2 million deal. Show me what you can do.
I don't see anybody signing like a super long-term deal with the amount of cap space that we're going to end up having.
I will be shocked if anybody signs long-term deals in the entire league right now.
Oh, true. Yeah, because of the flat cap.
I bet you're going to see a bunch of 3, maybe 4-year deals.
Fucking $7 million, like $7.3 million is how much we have in cap space for next year just right now.
That's not good.
Yeah.
How many guys do you have to sign?
Kajula, Kubalik, Strome, Cuckoo, and a goalie and a backup goalie. Almost $7.4 million. That's not.
You're gonna roll Colin Delia and Kevin Lincoln in goal next year. It's less than $2 million in the net.
Just gonna slide $7 million into Kubalik's pocket and just be like, "Don't tell anybody."
Hey, Kubalik, this is what we're gonna announce to the public. But you really, here's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Like,
don't tell anybody. Man, they got some shit that they gotta do. But that's pro to losing. Guys won't hopefully be able to ask for as much as they would.
Yeah, the only player that's gonna be able to ask for anything is Kubalik.
Immediate con to losing though, if they don't play well and they don't win, Bowman's just gonna be like, they're not winners. Get them out of here like Panarin, and then they're gonna go end up being a Hart Trophy finalist somewhere else, and just like fuck.
To reply to that, pros to losing, they might finally get rid of Bowman.
Oh. All right, now we're like all over the place.
But I mean, look at you got a new team president coming. They're going to be hiring a new team president who is going to want his hand, depending if it's a hockey ops guy or what. He's going to want his hand on the team. Going to bring in his own general manager to kind of clean up everything.
Oof.
Oh, Christmas would come so early for me.
Yeah. You know what's not going away? Cap problems. Fuck. That's yeah. Any other pros to losing?
Obviously the draft pick. We got that. I don't know. I just think long term it's going to make more sense. You're going to get, I think, by losing, you're like we said, you're going to fall in that top 10 pick. You're going to get somebody potentially that can step in right away. That's a player that you can count on that's cheaper than bringing in somebody from the outside. You still get some playoff experience with the guys. Yeah, sure, you're not winning, and it's a weird situation because it's only a best-of-5 series, but they're still getting that experience and kind of see how to handle themselves.
Yeah.
Cons to losing, you said that, and one more pro, like you said, is that you have kind of the leverage when it comes to re-signing these guys that they can't really.
You have a little bit more leverage than they do than if they were to play well. I mean, yeah, when you're thinking long term, it's better to lose. But when you're thinking now, you want to win with Kane and Taves. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And like that's where it's like hard because it's like, okay, we can lose and be better in the future, but we're also wasting the careers of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. But it's like, is it really a career wasted when you already have 3 cups? But
Right.
yes,
but
it is because you could clearly win more.
But also, 1 year, Kane's been getting better and better number-wise.
Yeah. So Kane's probably going to get more than 10.5 by the time his contract is up.
So, I mean, you can say
you're getting that McDavid money.
And here's another thing: pros are losing. Everybody's like, "Oh, well, if you lose now, you're wasting, Kane and Tage in their prime." Well, if we play the season out, we probably wouldn't even be in the playoffs in the situation, anyways.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
They were fighting for a playoff spot, but there's a good chance that they wouldn't even be in the playoff. The only reason they're in now is because they expanded to 24.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard sell, right? Or not hard sell. That's just kind of like a devil's advocate right there.
Yeah. Cons to losing. It's a con to losing. I'll tell you what it is. Getting first overall. It's a con because if you pick up Lafreniere, guess what happens? Cap troubles. Extraordinary cap troubles. Because like I said, if you get Lafreniere, his deal ends the same time as Kane and Taves and Keith. But the year before that, you're gonna have Doc's deal is gonna be up, so he's gonna get a larger deal. Hopefully, we have Kubalik still, and he more than likely either gets a 2-year, 3-year deal. So that deal is gonna get a little bit bigger too. If we still have Strome, it's probably only a 2 to 3 year deal. That deal is going to end up being bigger as well. DeBrincat, his deal will be up, and that's a 6.4. He'll still be a RFA, and his deal can't be less than 6.4. So that's going to be a thing. And then you would have Lafreniere's deal being up, and it's just like, okay, how many players are we allowed to pay $9 to $12 million in a year? And not have any defense still, because actually, guess who else would be up? Boquist would be up. Mitchell would be up. I don't know. Bowden would be up. We would still have Seabrook's deal on the fucking Bucks too.
How the hell does Bowman still have a fucking job?
Dude, I guess it's not really 4 years from now, but it's 4 seasons from now. We are going to have so much cap troubles if we still have everyone that we currently have.
You want to look at it that way, though, but you also say, hey, look at all those guys coming off the boats. We got a lot to work with there.
We got a lot of money to move around here. Oh, man.
That's why you just keep using our awesome scouts in Europe, signing these guys 1-year deals for like $800 or $925,000, and just recycle them, trade them off, Panarin style. Bring them up, build them up, move them.
Yeah.
Bring them in, build them up, move them.
That's what's going to happen when you just trade for other assets, possibly. Like, you tell Kubalik, be like, hey, bud, I don't know if you know this, but we just signed somebody that is basically you, but he's going to be a lot cheaper. So you want to, we can get this guy to come in and put in 30 goals this upcoming season if you don't want to. Fuck me. Man. I don't know. It's just, shitty. It's great to have cap troubles, because that means you have really good players. Typically, that's what it means. So that's a con to losing. Even more cap troubles than winning. I don't fucking know. I think it's just adding the Lafreniere deal, which would probably be another $10+ million deal onto the books.
Dude, that's probably going to be 4 years
from now.
At that point, it's going to probably be a 15-year or 15+. The way these contracts are going up.
No, but they can't, though, because of the flat cap. The contracts are going up because the cap was going up. And it's still the same kind of percentage of the cap.
Yeah, but 4 years, they're saying it can go up. So, I mean.
Yeah, so it could still.
Yeah.
And then.
Look at Mitch Marner and Matthews and all that kind of stuff. Those are.
Yeah.
Huge.
Right. So you have Tavares, Marner, and Matthews making 3 of the highest paid contracts in the NHL.
They
out of the top 5, and they play on the same team.
They played on the same line the other day in a scrimmage, and
the $30+ million line.
Tyson Barrie's it's a fucking all-star line. That's what you see when you go to the all-star game. You don't see that in a regular game. Oh my god.
I mean, we used to see it all the time when it was Kane, Taves, Hossa, Seabrook, Keith, and Crawford. It was just a whole all-star starting lineup.
Yep. Cons to losing. Yes. We have to hear all the bullshit again about the Hawks being, washed up and over and
Yeah.
the butt of the joke for the rest of the league.
Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, we could be the fucking butt of the joke for the rest of the league, like for this short term. Like, I don't see how this can last like super long. Like, we have so many good defensemen in our fucking prospect pool that if any of them hit, is going to be sick. Like, we already know Boquist is going to be nasty.
It's all just waiting on like Keith and Sieb's contract to kind of come off the books because we're kind of that's two spots that we're kind of handcuffed to that we can't really do much with. It's like once one of those comes off the books, boom, it's like the floodgate's going to open for the prospects to come up.
What kind of like issues would we run into if like Seabrook retired? Because he's not on the old CBA with the recapture penalty like Keith would be, where he has like a crazy like front-loaded contract where he had signed like a 12-year deal.
I don't know if there would be a penalty. Did he sign it before he signed it before he was 35, right?
Who?
Siebes,
yeah.
So I think the only way there's a penalty is if you sign a 35-plus contract.
Is it really?
Don't quote me on that. I know. Yeah.
I know that there's probably there would be a penalty on Keith if he were to retire before his contract's up because it's one of those like long, stupid contracts. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Retirement cap hit. Let's see if there's anything.
Because if Keith ended up just like falling apart in these last like 3 years of his deal, he's one that could be put on LTIR. And then that frees up a spot and $5.5 million. And then
if a player retires, any remaining signing bonuses are no longer payable. Although if the contract took effect after the player turned 35, the full cap hit of the contract will still be charged to the team.
Oh, okay. So Seabrook could retire. It's true. You know, that's what happens. You know, you just get demoralized after getting some surgery and then think that you're going to get a step back and you don't. And then you're like, I just got to quit it. Just got to call it quits.
Yeah. So
and then he can jump behind the bench and, just coach. I don't know. Just cap issues.
I don't see anything other than like penalties.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, I'm like on a Reddit thread about it. They're just like, they don't retire. They just claim injuries. Cough, Pronger, cough, Hossa. Fuck off.
Oh, for the like stupid long contracts?
Yeah.
That's all right.
All right.
All right. Well, anyway.
So after doing
pros and cons.
Yeah. So after doing this little exercise, I'm still torn on what I would rather have happen.
I just want it. I honestly don't care. I want them to win. I also want to win first overall.
I feel like
and I just want the team to do well.
I feel like the heart wants them to win, but the brain says lose.
And the penis says yes, hockey.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Right.
Really anything else, Hawks?
That's about it.
Yeah.
I was seeing on the scrimmage that they were talking about. Oh, the other thing too. The commentators.
Oh,
they're not going to be in the bubble, so they're going to be commentating from video screens, and it's going to be like Olczyk's going to be in Connecticut or something.
He's going to be Connecticut,
and Foley's going to be in Chicago. He's going to be at the United Center by himself, and the games are going to be in Edmonton. And I was seeing it when I was watching their scrimmage. They were talking about how it's going to be so difficult because you're not watching the game like you would normally watch the game and then commentate from there, like you're watching the video feed. So at any point when like a player is not in the video, like they can go and change, and then all of a sudden like you have no idea who's on the ice. And then there's the one simple example that they brought up was like, let's say they dump the puck down and it ricochets off something weird and goes in the net, and the camera's not quick enough to go across and follow it, and it's in the net, and then you just see everybody just kind of standing there. And you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I guess the puck went in the net. Okay, so they scored. Great. Sounds good.
I don't know why they wouldn't have them in the bubble with them.
I don't know. Like, is
I know
it
they're
just,
trying to
is it just the
minimize.
playing around, or is it?
I don't know. Like if they do that through the cup, oh my god.
I feel like they won't, but can you imagine though? Because if you would be like a commentator for the games, and you're in the bubble, how many commentators do you get? Because like, are you gonna have just like two do every single game of the day?
No, I think you would have to have probably what 3 sets maybe.
I would say probably at least 2 sets in each bubble, so you can do like
Alternate
like
games.
yeah, like one set does the like the morning,
Every
one
other
set
game.
does the noon, one set does the afternoon, and then like the one
They
set
s-
does the evening, and you just like
yeah.
pop, swap, like switch it off. So but I don't know.
I think this is more a reason for the NHL to just offer a pay version where you can just get the mics on the ice and you hear the fucking
Oh.
players chirping and
Yep.
none of this 5-second delay bullshit that they're doing.
I think that the only issue with that is just you don't want the players to like say anything that you really regret in the year 2020. You know, if it's being heard like out loud.
You set it up on a pay, you pay for it. There's no way to send it out what was said, and if somebody does say it, it's like, hey, there's no proof.
You've just signed like an NDA. like, I will not share this audio with anybody. I will not share this audio. This audio is only for me and those in my household. It's just
you have
like,
to take you gotta take a test or something to prove that you're not a dick that's gonna share this shit. Like it's like how everybody jokes.
You sued your ass fucking sued off for it, like. And then that's how the CBA or that's how the cap goes up is because somebody like broke the NDA and like got sued so hard. the cap goes up to 85, 89 million or some shit.
So here, let me ask you this: who would have to pay more on that kind of lawsuit? Do you think it would be the person that shares the stuff, or is it going to be somebody in like a situation like NBC versus JR, where they're being sued?
It would be the person that shared it.
You don't think NBC?
I don't know, man.
All right. Well, here.
I know exactly what you're getting to.
Yeah. So
don't ask me.
Friday,
I don't know legal shit.
Friday was the most mind-blowing. Like, I looked at my phone. I'm like, doesn't like. Why am I getting like notifications from the Onion on on the NHL app or like NBC app? Like, I'm like, what is going on?
That's hilarious.
Jeremy Roenick is suing NBC for wrongful termination, saying that he was fired because they are anti-straight and that because he's a white male who supports Trump, it was an easy decision for them to fire him. What?
Straight discrimination.
What is going on right now?
Yeah, I mean,
2020. This is what 2020's hit.
But the thing is, he almost has a point. It's so weird. Because what was it? It's like a figure skater, like a male figure skater who's gay, like made comments.
I can't think of his first name, but his last name's Weir.
Yeah, and he had made comments on air that were like kind of like harassment, and JR was told like it's okay. He's gay. He can say whatever he wants. And then JR is just like, oh, cool. Like, we can say whatever we want. Then he goes on another podcast and talks about having threesomes with Patrick Sharp and Catherine Tappan.
It was having a threesome with Catherine Tappan and his wife. And then if Patrick Sharp came up and asked you if you wanted to, and he's like, you're not going to not consider, like, stop for a second, consider it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so,
like,
I mean, when you like, that's a reason like a lot of the guys like it's on Spit and Chicklets, and it's the reason a lot of the guys that are in the show still like in the NHL don't go on there and tell stories.
It's tough to get. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get.
You don't
active
incriminate
players.
yourself when you're hired by like when you're on like national TV or hired by like a team. If you have a contract, you don't want to show that you're a piece of shit. And it's just like, oh God, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
It's a total 100% JR move. Like, I think only Jeremy Roenick is the only person that could get away with Paul, like even doing this.
Yeah. It's
his lawyer told the New York Post that a person's career should not be thrown away by a company as Mr. Roenick's career was with NBC. We are confident the evidence that will be brought to light from this also reveal the rampant disregard of Mr. Roenick's rights, stating he is a greatly affected victim of double standards. Saying his firing caused him to lose lucrative contracts, including Kraft Hockeyville, and his public appearance. All of his public appearances were canceled. So I think that's kind of like what I was saying yesterday in our group chat when I was like, he can go for affecting his career kind of thing too. I
mean, I don't know. He said shit that like you shouldn't say. Like you just don't say it. Like he was basically doing locker room talk.
Yeah.
As recorded. Just like, yeah, that's shit you don't really just let everybody in the world know that's what you're thinking.
Like, still listening to that, because I mean, I remember listening to that before he got fired, got in trouble for it. I remember listening and being like, ooh, I wonder if anything's going to happen from this. But then when it did happen, I was kind of like, I get it, but it also wasn't as bad as I think they were trying to make it out to be. I thought because he was suspended originally.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be suspended, and then he was going to come back maybe around playoff time. Anyway, that's
what a wild and crazy world JR is living in.
Bold strategy.
Yeah, right. Honestly, we'll see what happens, because it's not like I looked at it and read a little bit about it and was like, fucking ridiculous, no fucking way. I read about it and I was like, I don't know, maybe.
Like there's
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, there was enough to be like, oh shit, he might have a point. Like
shit, like it's like he's got a point. It's a douchey point.
It 100%.
It's still a point. Like fuck, man.
It's like he's got to go all in. Like if he doesn't win this, I don't know what he does, because I don't think either way he's getting a major job from any network.
I'm telling you right now, he's got to do this for all the straight white males out there, because we need a win. Jesus.
God. I'm going to cut that and make it sound so bad.
Don't. I was just kidding. I'm just kidding. JR.
Oh, God. Yeah. But, yeah, he's almost in like in a lose-lose situation here. Even if he wins, he loses, because I don't think any network will take a shot with him. I think he might be able to get a job with one of his former teams, but you look at his
Philly.
Philly might be the only one, honestly.
He'll be Gritty. I don't know. Like
Gritty punched a goddamn kid in the head and got.
No, it was in the back. It was in the back.
I thought it was in the back of the head.
Oh, now it's in the back of the head. Oh, I thought it was in the back, but
it was
also
the back? Okay.
It didn't happen. The kid doesn't know anything. Yeah, so that's JR.
They fucking are. Still love you, man. Come on our show. We'll let you say whatever you want, and we won't even air it. We just want to talk with you.
Oh, yeah, I'll just talk to JR.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Just pick his brain a little bit.
So some other non-bubble play-in, all that stuff. The Islanders sold the naming rights to their arena today. They finally get a place to play, so they finally get to do the whole process of, what they're going to call their arena. UBS Arena will be the name of the arena. It's a bank, I found out.
It's upper bowel syndrome. That's my best joke. Nailed it.
Is that a coming at me, Cronus joke there?
No.
Yeah, so it's a bank that is the largest naming rights deal for a standalone NHL arena. It's going to pay $350 million over the next 20 years. Good for the Islanders. I mean, they need a win. I mean, the arena looks sick.
Yeah.
from the artist renderings and all that. I mean, that's going to be an awesome place, I think.
Yeah, when is it going to be ready? Like 2 years from now?
I think 2 years.
Which, again, where the fuck is Seattle? What is your team name? I don't know. Every time I think about, like I was just thinking about, like, the new stadium name. So I was like, Seattle already has a name. And then I was like, when is it going to start? Oh, yes. Seattle will be in the league. See, what the fuck is Seattle's team name? Somebody fucking tell me. But yeah, that's pretty sweet, though. I mean, it's kind of weird that, like, the Islanders have been bouncing around for the last, like, 2 seasons.
Apparently, they don't know where they're going to play next year.
Like, they're not fucking cares.
They're not playing at Barclay next year, and supposedly the Coliseum is getting some repairs done to it that they're not sure because of the pandemic if it's going to be done in time.
Yeah, man, dude, this pandemic's really shitty. I had a couch that's supposed to be like made, and it was supposed to be here like a month ago, and I still have no idea when it's coming. So I know that feeling, Islanders. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, where would they? I don't know. Fucking get a practice rink for the Islanders. Who cares?
Are they gonna play out of the Garden?
Oh no. I mean, if they would just be like, yeah, you can play out of the Garden, but you have to give us Barzell. Yeah, okay.
Oh God, Barzell with Panarin. Oh
yeah. Oh. I don't know. Mika and Panarin is pretty fucking nasty, dude.
God. And
they released a video too. I'm just going completely off topic, but they were like the Rangers released a video, or if it was the NHL, but it was just Panarin and Zibanejad. It's like, remember when like Panarin and Zibanejad take over games, and it's just like them just going back and forth like scoring. And you're like, oh fuck, it's so nice, it's so cool, dude. I can't wait. And like that's the other cool thing. What is it? Next, when the games start, Hawks play the first game and the Rangers play the second game. So you get a little Kaner to start your morning out, and a little Panarin right after.
All those games too. We can switch over that real quick. All those games are going to be on NBC. On the NBC Family. Yeah, there's one game on USA.
Guess what it is?
Arizona, Nashville.
Yeah.
No respect for two-time Stanley Cup champion Phil Kessel.
I mean, he's finally on USA. Nailed it.
Oh, why do you do Phil like that, man?
That's fucking great. So yeah.
But yeah, they were saying so. It's like literally starts at 9:30 on Saturday or something. Like one day starts so early, it goes all the way to like 10 o'clock at night, like the game starts times. Oh my God, so much hockey that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sorry. Even during the week, I'm very upset that I might be able to throw it on TV at work.
I gotta just get so much beer.
And just not move for 2 days.
2 days.
No,
weeks.
Sorry. Yeah.
Weeks.
I mean, it's gonna be like that up until the 10th. Like,
yeah,
that's when these qualifying rounds are done. Is that the 9th is the last day of the qualifying round.
And then we get the draft round 2.
Oh, baby.
Jeez.
The Blackhawks are going to win the first round pick.
Yep, that's true.
So they also announced the COVID testing that has been going on since Phase 3 started. They tested 2,618 players, and only 2 positives came up. So, I mean, that's awesome.
2,000 what? How many? No, tests, not players.
No, tests. Did I say players?
Yeah, you said players.
Shit, no.
That's way too many players.
Tests.
They were testing players overseas.
It was like 800
testing players in the A, in this ECHL.
I think they said it was
CHL
like
players.
It was like almost 800 players.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's keeping low. Like you said, as long as they don't do anything stupid and they get to their bubble cities, everything should be a go.
Yeah, I can imagine that every team right now, while they're doing their team practices and scrimmages, like the coaches are hammering it home, like, don't fucking do anything stupid. Like,
don't be dumb. It's smart.
They're already past the opt-out time, so like anybody that's not able to go, like they just don't get paid, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So it's like, yo, if you want to get paid, don't do anything stupid.
Do you think the players are getting sick of this whole like being asked like when their list is unfit?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Voracek is. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Voracek missed practice the other day, and when the media was asking about it, he goes, "Why are you asking? You guys panic so much. Holy fuck. Got an inconclusive test. I'm fine."
Yeah, he's like, I'm not dead.
Yeah. I was like, yes, Voracek. I love Voracek. Like, he's like that. He's like that Euro guy that just doesn't give a shit. Like, he will tell you how it is.
Yeah, be cool.
Yeah, and then
another Voracek.
One thing too that everybody was looking forward to for this bubble kind of thing, relaxed setting, is that the dress code is kind of out the window. They can be more relaxed and all that kind of stuff.
They can show their own personal style.
Which the NHL, it blows my mind the NHL doesn't allow that now. Like, I get this, I get suits. I think suits look awesome. Like, it looks really nice when, everybody's got the suits. But at the same time, it's like, let them be there. Like, these are kids, essentially kids going in these games. Let them be kids. Let them have fun. Like, show them.
Literally, like, NBA players are allowed to wear whatever they want. There's some NBA players that wear hockey jerseys. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, dude. Like, those jerseys are sick.
NFL players come in costumes every week. Like, they do a costume, like, making fun of whatever team they're playing.
When Madden was the manager of the Cubs, they would go and like fucking wear pajamas.
Yeah,
and,
they had like the themed road trips.
Yeah,
like one year Lester
like, let loose with the team and shit, and like
Lester bought like cowboy hats and cowboy boots for everybody. Like 1 year, like that's so much fun. But then you have teams like the Minnesota Wild, who fucking sucks, that are buying polos for the team or the players, and
they can look like a team.
Yeah, who like you're going to a bubble, nobody's around. Like you're not like you're gonna be seen with like, and like you're going to the United Center with 20,000 plus people kind of thing. Even then, it's like nobody's seeing you.
I don't think there's a camera crew that's gonna be hanging out waiting to watch the players come in. It's like
three different team issued Wild logoed collared shirts that are white, gray, green, and black with pants.
Yeah, I hope that like the other players in the hotel, if they see the Wild players like walking to their game and they have their polos, just go up and be like, "Oh, dude, you play for the Wild? Sick." "Oh, what team do you play for?" "Oh, Wild. Nice, dude. That's awesome."
There was one team, I can't find who it was, but they're gonna be wearing like tracksuits.
Vancouver?
Yeah, Vancouver.
Yeah, dude. It's so dumb. I think I was kind of saying before with like the NBA players, it's like that's one of the things that's like that like gets those players more hyped by fans. It's like their actual style, and like it's hard for the NHL to market players. One, everybody's wearing a helmet, and two, they don't let anybody fucking be like a personable kind of person. Like they don't show any personality like at all. They don't let them do that, and like this is another one of those things.
Look what happened with like PK Subban and William Nylander. They've been wearing those like crazy like suits, and like people are like, "Oh my god, look at these guys!" Like, can you imagine like if you let them free range to what they look like? Like, I know it's old school, it's the old school mentality and all that kind of stuff, but you know what? It's time to change. It's time to let these guys.
Yeah, like these old school guys that are like, "Oh, we don't have as much money. We're not as popular." It's like, yeah, you got to grow the game. Yeah, that sounds good. How do we do that? Oh, you just gotta change some of these things. They're like, no. Okay.
It's like
never mind.
Lou
that Lou Lamoriello mentality.
Yeah. Like there's no, as long as he's like
no long hair.
Yeah, no long hair, no facial hair.
Numbers less than 50.
That is so stupid.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't get it.
Which I don't understand. I mean, I don't know why I think it's so stupid because my number is under 50, but whatever.
Yeah, but you're not like – it's not like you were forced.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so we'll wrap things up here with the rest of the NHL Awards.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Nominations were announced after we recorded. So, Tanner, you got the list, so you take it away.
Which one would you like to do first?
Let's start with –
the Selkie sounds good. All right. So the Selkie is going to be Sean Couturier, Ryan O'Reilly, and fucking guess who? Patrice Bergeron, who's just honestly always up for the award.
That is his record 9th time being nominated for that.
Isn't it is he tied for like most nominations in a row for a trophy. I thought I saw that somewhere.
It might be. Yeah, I know he's been nominated for that the most. He might be tied for like the most consecutive as well.
It's not just like the Selke trophy. It's just a trophy in general.
Trophy?
Yeah, I think it was somebody else who was like nominated for like the Norris, and I can't remember for the life of me right now.
Lindstrom?
I don't know, dude.
I fucking hate that he's on Boston. Like,
yeah, I absolutely hate it too. Like he's so fucking good.
he's kind of up there with like the Datsuk. Like, I love Datsuk, but I could not.
I still love Datsuk.
I know. I could not, like, I've always wanted a Datsuk jersey, but I could never buy a Detroit Red Wings jersey.
Yeah, the difference between them is like, I hate Detroit because it's like Detroit's a rival.
Yeah.
Boston's not a rival. I just fucking hate Boston because I hate the players on their team.
This is true.
It's like, yeah, it's a more hate.
That is fair.
Yeah, so I just saw the one thing where Vancouver is the one that's wearing tracksuits, that's for sure. I don't think I'm going to find it anywhere.
All right.
But who do you think's going to win?
Probably him.
Do you think Patrice Bergeron's going to win?
Yeah. Who won it last year? Do you know?
It was O'Reilly. Yeah, it was O'Reilly, and then it was Kopitar, then it was Bergeron. And
Yeah, he hasn't won anything in a while. He'll probably get it.
You think so? I don't know. I feel like I didn't really read into it too much, but I know Couturier is like usually being hyped pretty well right now of being like a really good two-way center.
Yeah, he is so good.
So maybe we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's a tough one. Let's get the irrelevant one out of the way.
Oh, Norris Trophy? Sure, dude. So for the Norris Trophy,
it's actually a very fair statement right there because of what this award has become. So yeah, good call.
Oh yeah. So best defenseman, aka best offensive defenseman trophy. John Carlson, Victor Hedman, and Roman Josi.
It should be Victor Hedman, but it's gonna be Carlson.
Why do you think it should be Hedman?
Because I think Hedman is hands down the best defensive defenseman out of those three.
Oh, I think he's the best complete defenseman.
Yeah.
Out of the three of them, I think Yossi's also
Yossi's
super
moving up.
fucking
Yeah.
unreal. He's so goddamn good. But yeah, Carlson's gonna win it. He had 75 points.
Yeah.
And it was Carlson with 75, Josi was 65, and Hedman with 55, which I thought was kind of funny how they were all like 10-point increments apart.
They're saying Carlson was gonna win it back in fucking December.
Well, it's because he was leading the league in points.
I know,
he had like 32 points in like 27 games, and it was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like every time they were on the power play, Carlson would just be like, okay, power play quarterback, and then he would just like dish it to somebody, they would score, and it was just like, what the fuck is going on? He has like 27 assists in 27 games. It was crazy. But yeah, he's gonna probably win it.
The Nashville Post. The time is now for Roman Josi to win a Norris Trophy.
Yeah, so they can put up another fucking banner.
Did you see that they did virtual banners?
For what?
For a NHL 20 season thing.
What?
Nashville put up virtual banners. They did a picture of them putting up banners Chell Stanley Cup, Chell oh my god, I gotta see if I found this. Keep
Nashville,
talking. I'm gonna see.
Stop being so fucking embarrassing. God damn it, man. Nashville. It's the meme of Nashville picks up a 4-leaf clover and goes, ooh, 4-leaf clover.
Yeah.
Make a wish. And you just go, wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I want to hate them because they're our division rivals, but I just can't. I just hate them because they fucking are terrible. Their PR team. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yo, Dallas is the team that's their PR team is sick, killing it.
Yeah,
and then you just get to hate Dallas because I don't know, they're in our division, and Antoine Roussel tried to make it a thing for the longest time. I don't know. But either way, yeah, Carlson's going to end up winning that bad boy.
Yeah.
So there's two left, and I'll just do the better one. So the Vezina Trophy finalists are Connor Hellebuyck, Tuukka Rask, and Andrei Vasilevsky.
I think it's gonna be Bucky.
Yeah, he had like just a really, really good fucking season, especially on a team that didn't have Dustin Byfuglien.
Yeah.
Just traded Trouba and no longer has Tyler Myers.
That team, I remember the story coming into this season for them was, oh my God, they have no defense. They're not going to do anything.
Yep. And he didn't do all that hot last year. And I think he had just signed his deal, which is like $6 million, I believe. 6.16 is his deal. And they're like, oh, we'll see if this works out. Yeah. So last year was his first year of his deal. And let's see, I'm looking at his stats right now. Actually, didn't do terribly. He did really well last year. He had a 9.2 or a 2.36. Nope. That was the year of his deal. Last year, sorry, that was the last year of his previous deal. He had a 2.9 last year goals against average and a 9.13. So nothing crazy good, nothing crazy bad. $6 million worth, not really that great. But this year, with less defense in front of him, for sure, because you're looking at this is what his defensemen are: Dmitry Kulikov, Josh Morrissey, Neil Pionk, who they got in the Trouba deal, Nathan Boileau, Dylan DeMello, Carl Dahlstrom, who they stole from us, Sammy Niku, and then it's like Tucker Pullman, Lucas Spiza, Anthony Bitetto. Their most expensive defenseman is Dmitry Kulikov at $4.3 million.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have any like huge guys, and they didn't do terribly. And Hellebuyck is a big reason they didn't do terribly. Like, I mean, plus their fucking forward group is sick. But regardless, Hellebuyck fucking held that team together.
Oh, 100%.
And I don't really think you can put Vasi in that same league because he didn't play nowhere nearly as well as last year. Like, where fucking like Tampa ended up just taking over the league last year because of like him and everybody. And then Tuukka you can replace with fucking Halak. I don't get it.
Yeah, like those Tampa and Boston, I think were expected. I mean, they're teams that are expected to win.
Yeah.
Like the team that's built around them. And I know a lot of people like don't think that's the case. Like, you get a nominee for these awards too based on what you did for your team, kind of thing. Like, that's another thing going into the Hart. What you talk about with the Hart nominations? It's like people are like, oh, it should be the person who does the best. It's like
it's most valuable.
Yeah, you got to take in consideration that look at what this guy. Yeah, this guy put up these huge numbers for this team that was the top team in the league. But then you get like this guy who's got slightly better numbers or equal numbers that was doing it that pretty much willed his team into the position that they are.
Yeah, it says here, like, literally the words given are it's the award given annually to the goalie voted the best at his position. And I feel like if you're putting up the numbers that are similar to another team that has a lot more defensive help, and you clearly don't have as much defensive help, and you're having the same kind of numbers, it's like you're clearly doing a lot more, and you are the better goalie at that position at that time. If you were put in swap situations, you'd probably be doing even better on that better team, you know?
Right.
So I think Hellebuyck has it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it kind of just shows that like that deal was worth it. If he gets a Vezina out of that in his second year of the deal,
he's running away as probably one of the greatest American-born goalies of all time. Almost like he's potentially getting that conversation. He's getting. I would say he's in it. I think he's definitely moving his name up that list where he's definitely going to be.
Like, who else is on the list? Like Ryan Miller, Jonathan Quick,
yeah,
Jimmy Howard. It's all recent goalies. I don't know.
Jimmy Craig.
Yeah, Jimmy Craig. What a hero. I have no idea what Jimmy Craig looks like, by the way. I just know
from the movie.
that it's the guy from the movie who played Tag on Friends.
Oh my
He was Rachel's
God.
assistant in Friends.
It just hit. Oh my God.
And the only reason I know that is because I never watched Friends before. And then I started watching Friends with my girlfriend who loves the show. And I was like, that's fucking Jimmy Craig. It's just like, no fucking way. So, yeah.
Oh, God. Herbie would be so disappointed.
Yeah, man.
By the way, before you go to the last award, I found the Nashville Predators virtual banners. They did a Photoshop with 7 quarantine Stanley Cup champions, first Stanley Cup award in 2020, Shell champs, most virtual sellouts in NHL 20 history, found something to do for 3 months, virtually raised another banner, beat Gritty.
So they're like making fun of themselves,
and it's
like,
just failing.
It's not like even that funny.
No.
It's like the banner thing is our thing, right, guys? Like, sick.
I hate you, Nashville Predators.
Oh yeah. Nobody's making fun of you because of like you raising banners. They're making fun of you because it's completely stupid. Like,
they're laughing.
Just keep raising banners. It's not bad.
We're laughing at you, not with you.
Yeah. Okay, most valuable banner raising team. Just, Hart Trophy. Just, I mean, it was kind of easy to tell who it was going to be. Like, they got Draisaitl, Nate McKinnon, and oh baby boy, Temi Panarin. Fucking God, I hope Panarin wins.
I really think it should be. I think, like we were talking about last week, because it's the same three that were up for the Ted Lindsay. Yeah. I think this Hart one is more of a shot for Panarin to win, where the Ted Lindsay one was for either McKinnon or Draisaitl. Probably more Draisaitl.
Like I said with the Vezina Trophy, so this is the actual wording for the award. It is voted on by the members of the Professional Hockey Writers Association. Is given annually to the NHL player voted to be most valuable to his team. Most valuable to his team. And that, I think without a doubt, has got to be Panarin.
Yeah.
Without a fucking doubt, has got to be Panarin. Like, it's so hard.
You're so rattled.
Because Draisaitl clearly is the best player on his team this year. Is he the most valuable player to his team? I think McDavid still is. Just based off of points, like Draisaitl, yes. But McDavid is by far the better player, I think. I think everybody would kind of agree. McKinnon, clearly most valuable to his team, best player on his team, but has a lot of help. And therefore, like, his value to his team versus Panarin's value to his team isn't as much, because Panarin has nowhere near as much help. He doesn't have a McDavid on his fucking team helping him out. He doesn't have a Rantanen or a Landeskog on his line helping him out, or a Cale McCarr. I mean, actually, he does have Adam Fox. But
God.
I think it's more of Adam Fox has Panarin,
right?
You know, because even going back to like that Calder discussion. Like, I've seen Cale McCarr highlights, and I'm like, that kid can do it all on his fucking own. And then I've seen Adam Fox highlights, and I'm like, that kid does it with his team for sure. Like, he does a good job. It's great.
Nothing against him. It's just the importance of what that guy brings. It's not to the same level as a McCarr or a Hughes.
Yeah, and if you get a power play that is first in the league because it's you and McDavid and like Kyler Yamamoto, who's played sick, and it's like that as a team, like, that's great. Way to go. If you have a power play and it has Cale McCarr, Gabriel Landeskog, and fucking Mikko Rantanen, and like that power play is also tops in the league because of, like, you guys are all great together, that's great. If you have Panarin and like that's your team, that's your offense, like, that's what it is right there on the Rangers.
What's so stupid is looking at their numbers. Like, it blanked. I mean, that they didn't play a full season.
Yeah, right.
69 games for Panarin, 95 points.
Yep.
69 games played for McKinnon, 93 points. 71 games played for Draisaitl, 110 points.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Does it say how many power play points each one has? I was like looking at those too.
Let's see. Not there.
Draisaitl had 44 power play points.
Yeah, 16 goals, 28 assists.
And
McKinnon had 12 power play goals and 19 power play assists.
Jesus.
And Panarin had 7 power play goals, 17 power play assists.
So he had the least power play points and still put up 95 points.
He's doing the most 5-on-5.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. That's fucking insane.
I mean, the Rangers were nowhere near should be in a conversation of potentially making the playoffs. No,
Yes.
You have Lundqvist who's getting older. You have, the team that's just they throw all their money at Panarin. So, what do they have to build around him type of situation? And what they found out is they got a lot of these young guys and the absolute willpower of Panarin.
I would love to just be like, if you were to remove these players from their team, how would that team do? Like that kind of a situation. I mean, clearly other teams would do worse, but I think the team that drops the most is going to be the Rangers.
Oh God, yeah.
You like I just had been saying, like you without Draisaitl, you still have McDavid.
Right, and
without McKinnon, you still have Rantanen, you still have Landeskog, you still got Kale McCarr. Like you have like these players that can pick your fucking team up still. Like without Panarin, with Zibanejad doesn't have anywhere near as close of a good year as he had. Near nowhere, like I don't know. Adam Fox doesn't do as well. Like Ryan Strome doesn't do as well. Like there was a Strome comment that he was just like, yeah, like when you have a hard candidate on your line, it makes things a little bit easier. Like it's like, yeah, dude, it's pretty fucking sick when everybody's looking at him and you're wide open in front. And he's just like,
I mean, Kreider's not going to do anything. He could be a difference maker, maybe 1 or 2 games, but he's not going to be that guy that drives this team. Yeah, they don't have Panarin. They would be fucked.
Yeah, they would probably be looking at a team in the 8 that are sitting out right now. Like
100%. They would possibly even be as bad as Detroit, like at that level. Like
probably Buffalo.
Yeah.
Ugh, Buffalo. Why do you continue to suck?
So we I know, because I was looking at those Adidas jerseys that I sent you guys, and I was like, God, I wish Buffalo was good because that jersey looks so cool. Like
yeah, they're white. Their whites with the gold trim were nasty this year.
Yeah. But all right, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. Let us know what you think about the awards. Who you think are walking home with those? Also,
who got snubbed?
Yeah, who got snubbed? Pros are you pro Hawks win or pro Hawks lose, or is there a point that we missed on pro or con for either?
What are your thoughts on JR and his lawsuit?
God. I almost I'm afraid to ask that. Like, I don't even want to see the shit show that could possibly come from that.
I do. Tell me. What if? Oh my God! It's just going to become like a reality show.
God. So, as always, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. Give us a ranking. Tell us what we love, what you hate. We don't care. We just want to hear. We want to hear what you think. Tell us a little bit. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Tanner?
No. I just can't wait. We got hockey in 7 days. A little exhibition game. We'll know even more next time we talk on whether or not Crawford's going to play, who's going to be out, who's going to be in. And I think everybody's pretty fucking excited, man.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
All right. So for Tanner and Jarom, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys. Love you, boys.